Hello, good afternoon. This is my evidence tool, and I am David Montoya. An effective presentations. An effective presentation is a well organized and engaging communication aimed at informing, persuading, or entertaining an audience. It is characterized by clarity, ensuring that the message is clear and understandable. Engagement is crucial as the presenter captivates the audience through storytelling and interactive elements. A logical structure with an introduction, main content, and conclusion inside the flow. Visual aids such as slides and charts improve understanding, while relevance involves tailoring the content to the audience interest and knowledge level. The presenter's confidence and delivery demonstrate through strong body language and vocal variety, help create a connection with the audience. Below, we will show two presentations, the first with a good presenter and the other one a deficient.
Our third finalist is Emily Johnston from the School of Pharmacy and Medical Sciences. Her presentation title is Mosquito Research, Saving Lives with Pantyhose and Paperclips.
I came to Australia to study the deadliest animal in the world. Now, there may be some Australian audience members thinking, Struth, science has finally recognized the importance of the drop bears. But I'm not studying drop bears, because around the world, by transmitting diseases like malaria and dengue fever, mosquitoes kill more than 1 million people every year, making them the deadliest animal on the planet. Now, in Australia, the most common mosquito-borne disease is Ross River virus, and it occurs at high rates in some areas, but not others. My question is why? What is it about certain areas that makes them breed disease? If we can understand the environmental factors that contribute to disease transmission, then we can alter the environment or target our control efforts to prevent human infections. But to answer that question, I had to find out where the infected mosquitoes were in South Australia. And traditionally, testing mosquitoes for virus has always been difficult. So I used a new technique. It takes these cards, which are embedded with virus-preserving chemicals, and coats them in honey. Mosquitoes will come to feed on the honey, and in the process, spit virus onto the card where it can later be detected. Now, no one had ever used this technique in a broad-scale virus survey before, so I had to adapt it. I developed new traps and set them at over 100 field sites across South Australia. Then I captured over 20,000 hungry mosquitoes and let them feed on the card for a week before testing the cards for virus. Now, you may not think that these traps look very impressive, but science doesn't have to be beautiful. It has to be effective, and these traps are proving to be our most sensitive method of detecting infected mosquitoes. I found 3 types of infection: Ross River virus, Barmah forest virus, and Stratford virus, which has never before been found in South Australia. I now have the virus data I need to conduct my analysis, and I'm collecting publicly available data about the environment surrounding my traps, like the density of human housing, the biodiversity of mammals, and the ratio of green space to buildings, to see if any of those environmental factors can link these virus hotspots that I've shown here. But the most exciting part of my research so far has been the success of this method. Public health officials in Victoria, Queensland, and Western Australia have been in contact with us about implementing this technique for their surveillance next year. And I developed these traps on a tight budget. I used recycled milk cartons, pantyhose, and paper clips to make the traps. Each trap costs less than $1 and can be reused for the whole season. That was important to me because the majority of mosquito-borne disease risk happens in economically impoverished countries. In India, for example, where about 1/4 of the population lives on $1 a day, there are 33 million cases of dengue infection every year. With my low-budget virus surveillance and spatial analysis method, I can help any country, regardless of resources, find out where their deadliest animals occur, why they're there, and how we can stop them from infecting humans. Thanks.
Right, hi everyone. Sorry, I had a coffee emergency. Just talk amongst yourselves. Whatever. I sort this. Okay. What is that? No. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be talking about teamwork. That's the wrong. It's the wrong presentation. Sorry. Right, teamwork. Okay, so we're going to be talking about teamwork today. So we're going to cover outlining the principles of effective teamwork, defining team roles, identifying your own preferred team role, and then assessing the effectiveness of team role combinations. Okay, so how can a team be ruined? Some of the typical responses are not bothering to get to know the team, dominating, not contributing enough, leaving one or two people to do all the work, not respecting other team members, not taking responsibility, putting your own needs before others, not listening to others' ideas, not using the strengths of each person to the best effect, messing around, not caring what happens to others, and not being able to take criticism. So, what did Belbin say? Belbin was someone who did a lot of work on teamwork theories, which you can go away and research if you want. He said that you needed a coordinator to chair, a good plant to be creative, a monitor evaluator to spot the good and bad ideas, and then a spread of other types to have a good team. I've put a web link up there to belbin.com, which will give you some online tests that you can do to see what role you come out as. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna. Right. So, I've got this table up here which shows you the team roles with the strengths and the allowable weaknesses. Some of the roles that are on there, I'm not going to read them all out. You can see them and you can research them. There's a plant, which is someone who's creative and unorthodox and ignores incidentals. There's a resource investigator who is enterprising and helps develop contacts, but can often be over-optimistic. And there's also people such as complete finishers who are conscientious, painstaking, and reluctant to delegate. Okay, you can have a look at all of them whenever you want. They're all on the website. I've put some YouTube links up on the screen. Feel free to write them down and have a look at them, and sort of they'll give you some different slants on teamwork. So if we move on to the next slide.
My conclusions about the two presentations. After watching the two presentations, we realized the chain between each one of them. In addition to the fact that the first presentation hugs you in an excellent way, and the second even makes you laugh because of how poorly it is done and all the mistakes the person made. In share of the presentation, so below I will mention 10 things that should be done to achieve an effective presentation and 10 things that should not be done. 10 things does what to do. Number 1. Adequate preparation. The good presenter was well prepared, reflecting her confidence and knowledge of the topic. Number 2. connection with the audience. She establishes a good connection with the audience by asking questions and encourage participation. Number three, use of visual aids. She effectively used visual aids to illustrate key points and maintain attention. Number four, clarity in communication. She expressed her ideas clearly and concisely, making the content easier to understand. Number five, management. She controlled her presentation time, ensuring that all important points were covered without rushing. Number six, handling questions. She effectively responded to audience questions, showing mastery of the subject matter. Number seven, confidence in delivery. Her posture and body language conveys confidence and assurance. Number eight, adaptability. She remained flexible in the face of change or interruptions, keeping the focus on her presentation. Number nine, use of practical examples. She incorporated relevant examples that facilitate understanding of complex concepts. Number 10, finally, impactful conclusion. She ended her presentation with a clear summary and call to action, leaving the audience reflecting. And in the other hand, don'ts what not to do. Number one, disorganization. The second presenter exhibited a lack of structure in his presentation, confusing the audience. Number two, unnecessary interruption. The phone call interrupted his presentation, demonstrating a lack of presentation and respect for the audience. Number three, lack of enthusiasm. His disinterest was evident in his tone and body language, motivating the listeners. Number four, content errors. He presented incorrect or confusing information, diminishing his credibility. Number five, not using visual aids. He lacked visual aids, making his presentation monotonous and difficult to follow. Number six, avoiding interaction. He did not encourage questions or audience participation, missing the chance to make the presentation more dynamic. Number seven, speaking too quickly. His rapid speech made it difficult for the audience to understand the content. Number eight, ignoring time. He did not manage his time well, leading to be rushed or incomplete conclusion. Number nine, disconnecting from the audience. He failed to connect emotionally with the audience, resulting in a lack of interest. And finally, the number 10 is web closing. He ended his presentation without a clear summary, leaving the audience confused about the key points. Reflection and analyze the impact of presentation style on audience engagement. The effectiveness of a presentation goes beyond just the content. It encompasses the delivery structure and engagement strategies employed by the presenter. A well-crafted presentation can captivate an audience, whereas a poorly executed one can lead to disenchantment and confusion. In analyzing the recent presentation, several errors were identified that significantly affected the audience interest and understanding. Here we detail over 20 errors and explain the importance of avoiding them. Key errors and their importance. Lack of preparation. The second presenter appeared unprepared, which diminished his credibility. Preparation is crucial as it builds confidence and ensures that the presenter knows the material inside and out. Poor structure. The presentation lacked a clear outline or flow, making it difficult for the audience to follow. Inconsistent tone. The presenter tone fluctuated from monotonous to overly enthusiastic, which confused the audience. Ignoring time management. The presenter did not allocate time appropriately, leading to a rushed conclusion. Effective time management allowed for comprehensive coverage of topic and strong finish. Unclear visual aids. Visual aids were poorly designed or hard to read. Clear, concise visual enhanced understanding and retention of information, making the presentation more effective. No interaction with the audience. The lack of engagement strategies such as question or poll resulting in a passive audience. Failure to summarize key points. The presenter did not provide a summary at the end, leaving the audience unclear about the main takeaways. Excessive information. Overloading the audience with too much information led to cognitive overload. Inappropriate use of humor. Humor that fell flat or fell forced aliened some audience members. Reading from slides. Constantly reading for slides diminishes the presenter connection with the audience. Instead, presenters should use slides as prompt to elaborate on points, fostering engagement. Inconsistent formatting. The slides had varying font size and styles which distracted the audience. Overuse of jargon. The presenter relied heavily on technical jargon, making the content inaccessible. And finally, negative body language. The presenter close body language conveys disinterest. Positive body language such as open gesture and eye contact engagement. Inadequate handling of questions. The presenter struggled to answer questions effectively, which undermined credibility. Inability to adapt. The presenter showed rigidity in responding to unexpected interruptions, which affect the flow of the presentation. Lack of patience. A visible lack of enthusiasm results in a distant audience. Passionate delivery captures interest and inspires the audience. Ignoring audience feedback. The presenter failed to gauge audience reactions, continuing with a poorly received topic. Weak opening. The presentation began with a dull introduction, failing to hold the audience's attention. A compelling opening sets the tone and piques interest from the start. Repetitive content. Repeating the same points without adding value can frustrate the audience. Disorganized conclusion. The conclusion lacked coherence, leaving the audience confused. Over reliance on technology. Technical difficulties with slides or videos disrupt the flow. In conclusion, the way a presentation is delivered significantly influences audience interest and engagement. By recognizing and addressing common presentation errors, presenters can enhance their effectiveness and ensure that their message is conveyed clearly and memorably. Thank you for your attention.